Hi guys, welcome to another Touch of Film. This week I have a Hong Kong Blu-ray stack here. I've gone for more of a crime theme today. Let's start off with The Bodyguard, directed by Sammo, starring Andy Lau and Sammo. It's quite a good action movie. Not what I was expecting really. The film is about a retired military man who was quite high up in the military, played by Sammo. He's retired. He's sort of going senile. I think he's getting Alzheimer's, and he looks after a girl that lives next door, who's always getting into trouble. She's only like 6-7 years old, but they have a good friendship, really good relationship. She always comes over and he cooks her dinner and tells her stories. But her father, played by Andy Lau, is a gambler. He's really in debt, and during that time he has to do a business deal with some mafia to pay off some of his debts. It is to go to Russia and collect some jewellery, steal some jewellery really, and then bring it back to the mafia. Things go wrong. He doesn't return with the jewellery, and it's basically the mafia go after his daughter and himself, and Sammo is there to look after the girl. The film is pretty good actually. I was expecting it to be more martial arts, but I think at his age I don't expect to see Sammo doing a lot of the stuff that he used to do. But otherwise, yeah, it is quite good. There is some good action scenes in there, but he doesn't move as much as he used to. There's a really cool cameo with Choi Hark in there, which is really cool. But otherwise, yeah, good film, quite entertaining. I'll recommend it if you're a big Sammo fan or a martial arts fan. And that is The Bodyguard. It's also known as My Dear Bodyguard, I think, in Hong Kong. But yeah, this is the Region A version, so I recommend it to anyone with a Region 3 Blu-ray player. Next up we have Drug War, the Johnny To movie. This is a masterpiece. I actually am getting really into Johnny To movies now. I try to get as many of his films that are available on Blu-ray. I know there isn't a lot available, especially like the better ones like Exile, and you've got Mad Detective. This stars Sun Hong Lei and who else is there? Sorry, there's Louis Koo. Louis Koo. Louis Koo is the main actor in this. He plays sort of like a heroin producer, and Sun Hong Lei is a detective, captain really, who catches Louis Koo's character. Louis Koo is working for like 7 big bosses, and he produces heroin for them. So Sun Hong Lei pretends to be a distributor, and at that time he works undercover with Louis Koo's character to catch the 7 bosses. At the same time, Louis Koo is sort of playing in the middle, is a bit sneaky, but yeah, it's an absolute fantastic movie. Some great action scenes in this, and it's just what you expect from a Johnny To movie. He's just the master of Asian crime cinema at the moment. His recent film 3 is pretty cool. I'm waiting for that to get a UK Blu-ray release if it does. But yeah, I really recommend this movie to anyone, especially if you're into crime movies like Infernal Affairs. Yeah, check that out. Next up we have a martial arts classic, is SPL, also known as Killzone, directed by Wilson Yip. He's just a fantastic director, and this has got an all-star cast of Donnie Yen, Sammo Hung, you've got Simon Yam in there, as well as Wu Jing. So it's just like a martial arts fest in there. The story of a detective played by Simon Lam. He's after Sammo Hung's character. He's really desperate to catch him. He's a crime boss, and a real dirty one like that. And he, at one point, he tries to take him to trial, but the witness dies and is murdered by Sammo Hung's men, and all is left is the witness's daughter. And this really determines and really makes Simon Lam's character to be more passionate about catching Sammo Hung. At what time he comes to a point of retirement due to a brain tumour, and this leads to him being replaced by Donnie Yen. And Donnie Yen takes over and is sort of like separated from Simon Lam's group, because Simon Lam's group are really would do everything they can to catch Sammo Hung, and that includes committing crimes themselves. And Donnie Yen isn't cool with this, but yeah, it's just sort of like Donnie Yen is the only clean cop, and everyone else is quite dirty. Fantastic movie. Donnie Yen is just phenomenal in everything he does. His martial arts is gorgeous to watch. This just comes with a slipcase with the normal Blu-ray case. This is, I think, this is a Korean edition, so it's not really like a limited edition. I don't think there is a limited edition of this movie, but yeah, I highly recommend this film, guys. There is a UK edition of this, a American edition, a Korean edition. It's a very widely available film, so if you're into martial arts, I highly recommend it. Next up, just came out last year, and it is Killzone 2. I've watched this a few months ago, and I really wanted to get it on Blu-ray. Just fantastic movie. The sequel to Killzone 1 SPL, but this is just a different story. Same characters, but they play different characters really. This time it's directed by Soi Chang. You've got Simon Yam in there, Zhao Jin, Tony Jaa replaces Donnie Yen in this, and you haven't got Sammo Hung, but you have got Wu Jing, who plays a good guy in it this time. This time it's a story set in Thailand as well as Hong Kong. You have a lot of this one's quite gruesome actually. It's a lot about people selling body parts, which is pretty horrific to watch in this film. Tony Jaa has a daughter who is suffering from an illness. I think it's leukemia, and she needs bone marrow, which she can't get. And the only replacement she can get is from Wu Jing, who is held in another prison. Is held in a prison that he works in, but he can't get hold of him because someone else has his phone, his contact, so he can't get in contact with Wu Jing, and he doesn't even know that he's holding the guy who has the bone marrow for his daughter. This is a fantastic movie. I don't know if I prefer it from the first. It's very different. I like it just as much. I think it's fantastic. Tony Jaa is a legend. I don't see a lot of Muay Thai in films, but he just seems to do the best at doing Muay Thai. This is the US edition. It's not come out in the UK just yet, or anywhere else I don't think. Maybe Hong Kong. So you're only going to be able to get a Region A version of this film. I also recommend this a lot for anyone who has a Region 3 Blu-ray player who loves martial arts movies. So that's my Hong Kong Blu-ray update, guys. just a small one. You know, I do small updates because I try to make sure that, you know, I've seen the films that I'm showing you, because I don't do that many movie reviews. So to watch films and show you them, and I can talk more about them really. Cool guys, so please subscribe, comment below, let me know what you think. Please subscribe, and then you can get alerted on my updates. I try to update as often as possible. I'm going to update more now with movie reviews, because this week I'll be starting off a new series called the Masterpiece Sessions. These are me talking about films that I consider masterpieces, and films that I really recommend to anyone who's a fan of Asian cinema, because these are films that are, you know, iconic. So yeah, please check out for that. That will be up this week, hopefully Thursday. And until then guys, see you soon. Take it easy guys.